Howdy, howdy, this is Crafty Grinding back again with an arena cutoff video for Marvel Contest of Champions. Today I'm going to cover first round predictions for the new Archangel and Spider-Man Stark Enhanced arenas. So the first thing I like to do is kind of categorize what type of arenas these are compared to past arenas, because then this allows me to kind of look at those past arena results and do some trend analysis to kind of figure out what we can expect for first round cutoffs this time around. So when we look at 4-star feature and 3-star feature Archangel, typically there's two groups of past results: old champs and new champs. And Archangel, he's an old champ, but unlike a lot of the old champs that we've had recently, as well as since these new structures of the arenas, this is a champ that's kind of shown up again as a feature champ kind of early, and still really good champ in terms of helping clear a lot of content. So we'll get to that later in terms of what the predictions are, but wanted to give that as kind of background. Then when it comes to the 4-star basic arena, there's three types of arenas. There's one that low interest champs, there's mid interest champs, and then there's high interest champs. When it comes to Spider-Man Stark Enhanced, he's the high of the highest. So there's a lot of buzz, a lot of interest in Spider-Man Stark Enhanced. He has a lot of utility in the game. Probably one of the best champs to have, and he has a synergy with one of the other great champs they have in the game, and that's Blade. But anyway, so let's get into some recent past results to kind of set the tone for what these predictions will be like. For first, the 4-star feature. The 4-star feature old champs, and you can see here with Abomination, he came in at 7. The cutoff was at 7.85. With Nightcrawler, it went up to 9.2. Nightcrawler still has tons of utility in the game, well, tons, but has some utility left in the game. And then Loki even came in at 10 million. So you see this general increase over time. Loki, even though he had a higher result than Nightcrawler, I would say if those arenas took place around the same time, you would probably see Nightcrawler with a higher result. The reason why Loki, it was later, so you're seeing a general trend of cutoffs going higher. Plus, there was Hela coming out, who has a nice synergy with him. And then when we look at the last high tier results, and I don't call them recent because Dormammu, as well as Iceman, they took place, or Iceman, but Archangel, you can see he's already back as a feature. So that shows you how outdated these are a little bit. They're a couple months older than some of the other recent results I've been looking at, but we don't have a lot of high interest champs, and I think Spider-Man definitely is one of those. And you can see how those results have continued to go higher, with Iceman most recently coming in at 6.81. And then lastly, when we look at recent old 3-star results, you can see that they're pretty consistent. Over 700,000, but not going all the way to 750, even 725,000, with Captain America coming in most recently with his cutoff at 724,000 in the second round. And to be clear, these are veteran brackets that we're looking at, veteran brackets results. One of the things I've been doing here over the last couple months is starting to get input from the community. So you've seen the data, the trend analysis here is now. What about community? What does the community feel? How does the community think these cutoffs will actually land? So the first question I asked is, what do you think about the first round arena cutoff for the 4-star Archangel? And out of 272 votes, thank you very much for everybody who took the time to vote, and especially those who took the time to kind of elaborate on their votes in the comment section. You can see though with those 272, almost 50%, so not a strong majority, but almost majority went to that 14 to 15 million. Then when you look at Akasha coming in with a little alternate opinion with that next group in 15 to 16, most people in the high tiers already have him. He has a lot of uses, so I assume a lot of mid-range players might spend a decent amount of units to get him. And I don't know if everybody listening here does a lot of time in the 4-star feature grinding arena, but that's not the easiest arena to grind, especially if you don't have the most developed 5-star roster. Just the amount of time it takes to get to that amount of points. So while Akash might be riding that, newer players and mid-range players might not have Archangel yet. I'm not sure they have the roster that can get even up to 15 million, 16 million, even if they just constantly use units. Mal Games has a good point as well here. As amazing of a champ Archangel is, he has already been in the basic arena before. As you can see in the last high interest results, he even showed up there. So it wasn't too long ago. So people who want him likely already have him, given that the feature arena is usually for people already progressed pretty well. Here's my point exactly. Like, yeah, they're going to have the 5-star rosters to actually do a lot of damage, do a lot of grinding in the 5-star arena or 4-star feature arena. They could already have easily grabbed him, the basic arena, and he's an older champ. I think around 10 million is the estimate cutoff for him. So Mal thinks he's going to the lowest 10. I don't know necessarily that. I think these numbers will get pushed up a bit higher anyway. But I do agree with his point that I think it's going to go skyrocketing over to what like a typical new champion might get. And then when it comes, the second question that I asked the community is, what about 4-star Spider-Man Stark Enhanced? You can see the community is pretty split. There's some folks that don't think it'll go higher than 5.5 million to 6 million. The reason being, looking through the comments, a lot of folks thought Archangel would take away some of that focus. And again, I think going back to what we were just looking at Mal Games' point, I don't think those type of the people that can really do 4-star feature arena, probably if they don't have, there's a better chance they don't have Spider-Man than Archangel, because Spider-Man hasn't been in the basics, so they'll come here. And I don't think it's going to take that much away. When you look at Theo Fletcher, he had a point. He's got a ton to say apparently, but he said he'll be brief. He's a God tier champ. He has a synergy with Blade, and those who have him may want to awaken him. He does, and even though he's a great champ without being awakened, he's even a better champ when awakened. And then a new all-time 4-star basic numbers for the first round. So he's thinking it's definitely going to go over that Iceman number that was 6.81, and I fully expect this arena to be Iceman 2.0, where insane first round numbers and an insane second round drop. That was a good point. We'll get to that later when we get to round 1 results and round 2 predictions, but there was a big drop off with Iceman. But anyway, and Esteban coming back with the 6 million is a huge number. There's a quality champion in the future. So coming back to like he's thinking that Archangel would take away from Spider-Man's arena cutoff. So with that all being said, and taking into account the past arenas, here's my thoughts on where I think these cutoffs will be. I think the Archangel will come in at 14 million. I think there'll be some. It's not going to be a typical old champ arena like Loki. We saw 10 million, or even Nightcrawler 9.2. But then again, it's not going to get anywhere to that the new champion numbers. Keep in mind when we had the memory crystal come through, that one for like 13 millions in that ballpark. I was kind of thinking it might be kind of similar to that memory crystal. People hoping to get a Blade, that kind of thing. We're taking a chance there, or an Archangel kind of thing. So they were probably coming back to try to get him. Or one of the other great champs that could potentially been in the crystal. And so here you actually have a chance to get Archangel. I really think that first round cutoff is going to come in 14 million. Unfortunately, when it comes to the top 10% tier shard, I still think we're going to be around that 4.5, 4.6 number. That hasn't been dropping a lot, and plus these 14 numbers are going higher. So that's going to push that top 10% probably higher as well to that 4.6 mark. And that 11% shard tier, I think you're going to see that come in right around 2.5, 2.4 million, right around that milestone reward. Then jumping over to the 4-star basic Spider-Man arena, I think we're going to see it go over 7 million. I definitely think he's going to eclipse the Iceman 6.81, 6.82 cutoff and go a couple 100,000 higher to that 7.2, 7 million. When people get to 7 million, at least the way that I play the game, it's always like, well, a lot of people maybe stop at those whole round numbers. I'll go a couple 100,000 more to give me some space. So I think that cutoff is going to be right around 7.2 million. Then with 11 to 25%, I think we're going to see that coming at 1.72. And lastly, with the 3-star feature Archangel, I think we're going to kind of see a standard old champ performance with that first round cutoff right around 735, maybe even a little bit lower to 720,000. And lastly, with 11 to 25% tier shard for the 3-star feature arena, I think you'll see that coming around 620,000. Now, these are the actual cutoffs for the veterans bracket. When it comes to a grind target, when you want to bid on a little bit of buff on where I think the cutoffs go, if you really want Archangel, go to 14.5 million. If you want Spider-Man Stark Enhanced, go to 7.5 million, maybe even a little bit higher. Worst thing in the world would be to get to this number and then it actually be like 7.6 or something like that. So if you can get to 7.5 and go a little bit higher, try to do so. And then lastly, with Archangel, 780,000 if you really want that 3-star feature champ. Again, this is for the veterans bracket. When it comes to the beginners and intermediate bracket, I don't have a ton of historical data to base this off of. So, and there's a lot of fluctuation on the actual number of people in these brackets. I mean, it changes all the time because this is where the newer players come in and then continue to go out more quicker than veterans. Once you get to veterans, you're there in veterans for either. So it's a little bit more stable of a, population and numbers to base again. So with that being said, these beginners and intermediate brackets are really just rough ranges, just to give you a sense of some of the input that I have heard of, and myself have most recently witnessed back in August, as well as here recently with my free-to-play account. So with the 3-star feature, if you go to 245, that typically works. 4-star basic for the beginners bracket, 1.5 million, and the 4-star feature, 1.2 million. For the intermediate bracket, I think 3-star feature around 650,000 is a good target. 4-star basic, 1.5 million, maybe even higher, 1.6, 1.7, since we're dealing with Spider-Man. And then 4-star feature, 1.2, and that's probably on the low end. Again, probably 1.4, 1.5 for Archangel. Anyway, these are just rough ranges. And even for the veterans bracket, this is just based off of historical data plus some community input. So please take this all as a guidance tool. Don't consider it like it's the end all be all. As any analyst will tell you, past results do not guarantee future results. So hopefully these work out for you. Hopefully these give you a good sense of maybe what to target for. And happy grinding this weekend if you're going after one of these champs, because it's going to, especially Spider-Man, it's going to be one of the biggest grinds we've seen. So anyway, these are my thoughts on these arenas. Would love to hear your thoughts on the first round cutoffs. Throw them on down in the comment section. We can talk about them. Talk about your ideas down there, and as well as you have any questions on it down there, we can talk about them too. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully you liked this video, and if so, would really appreciate if you could click that thumbs up button. If you like this and other videos I have on the channel, would really appreciate a subscribe. Other than that, thanks a lot for stopping by, and have a great day.